Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm Miriam Dow, wife, mama for real estate investor and entrepreneur. Welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can see from the title, I lost the deal. So let's get right into it. Alright y'all, I decided to come outside. I'm holding the camera with my hand because I can't find my stuff, and I want to just get this video out there. So yeah, this is not no clickbait or anything like that. I actually lost the deal, the duplex, that I'm really upset about it. And to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I stopped filming or stopped uploading videos for over a month. That was one of the reasons that contributed to it, because I was so looking forward to this deal. I shared it with you guys, so I felt like maybe I kind of jinxed it by sharing it with you guys before it was actually done and finalized and all that. But yeah, I lost the deal. So what happened was I contacted my my previous lender that helped me get this house, my primary residence that I live in now. So I contacted my previous lender. He works with Fairway Mortgage. They're kind of very popular. They're nationwide, almost in every state. So when I first bought my first house back in 2017, it went really smooth. And he was able to do some things for me that other lenders were not able to do. Like you guys know, I'm a commission-based position. Let me try to fix this camera. All right, y'all, that's better. My hands are free. My husband got this grill out here, is resting because he be getting hit with the ring. But anyway, back to this sad reality. So I was working with the lender. He was able to do some things for me, like commission-based position. So I actually went from Mercedes-Benz to my new position back in 2016, and at that time I wanted to buy my house. But he said just because I just switched jobs, they're unable to do that because I'm commission-based. So he said, I need you to be in this position for at least 12 months so I can see what kind of income you're making before I can approve you. Every other lender was saying 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. But he told me, he was the only one that told me 12 months. So then, and I think the reason why he was able to do it, because it was the same industry. So I was in that same industry with just a new employer, right? So I started working with the company I work with now March 1st. And then I went on maternity leave back in December. And I'm just trying to give you guys some backstory as to why I trusted this person so much. Back in December, I had my daughter, December 23rd, back in 2016. And I knew the 1 year mark wasn't going to be until March. I was actually returning from maternity leave. I believe the date was March 19th. And then in January, I just decided to send him a message like, hey, here is my W-2 from last year. Do you think there's any way that I can start looking for houses? Because right now I'm on maternity leave, so I would love to buy this house before I even return, because you got time on your hands, right? You go back to work, it gets busy. So I think my check for that year 2016, although I was just with the company from March to December, so what is that? I don't even know how many months, but whatever those months is, 10 months or whatever, I think it was like 130 grand or something like that. So when he saw that, and then he wanted me to send him my last check for December, which was like a $15,000 check. When he saw that, he was like, you're good to go, start looking for houses. When I got that news, I was so happy. So from there, I gotta make sure I'm not late to pick up my son. What time is it? So from there, I started looking for houses, got the house, whatever, everything happened, we moved in. So when I was interested in doing this, I was seeing a lot of houses, and I know I wanted to, so you guys know I contacted the guy the landlord to lease his home, but then I ended up changing my mind. I'm like, I'm gonna put all this money into making his house perfect for Airbnb, and it's not even my house. I'm not gonna get nothing out of it, no appreciation or anything like that. So I have a different mentality. I see a lot of people doing the rental arbitrage, but it's just not something that's for me. I'd rather have a house that I can pass down to my children, put it in a trust, that their children could use. That's my goal. My goal is not just to get as much cash flow, it's also to have assets, right? Because at some point I'm gonna get tired of listing Airbnbs. I just want to live off of my cash flow. So that's why I want to do that, right? And you always have the option of pulling out cash. Your options are limited when you're doing a rental arbitrage. So that's why it's not something that I would like to do. It's good for people who don't have as many funds. You can get started that way, but I think the ultimate goal is to own some shit. So basically, I asked them, I said I want to refinance the primary residence and the Trenton residence, so use those funds so I could, get something a little bit better, maybe in a nicer neighborhood. So we started the paperwork. We literally started paperwork January. He sent me the link. I did everything. He approved me for $603,000, right? At first I was looking at houses in Orlando, next to like Disneyland, and those houses were like really, really expensive. So I was like, you know what, just because I'm approved for $600,000, I'd rather get a property that's like half of that. I don't want to go crazy, right, off of that. So I continued to look in Trenton. We found this property in Hamilton. The first property was for $360,000. I put an offer in $30,000, $360,000. The second property was $300,000. I put an offer in $10,000 above asking. And when I saw everything, I sent it to him, and he was like, yeah. He sent me a pre-approval letter. Gave that to my realtor, Lila, because the last thing I want to do is waste my time. Like, I'm not about to drive 3 hours. It takes me an hour and a half each way to drive down there, and then also waste my realtor's time. Like, I'm really available on weekends, so she stops time with her family on Sunday to show me these houses when she doesn't need to do that. So I went down there on a Sunday. We looked at the houses. I put an offer in it. As soon as my offer was accepted, I emailed him, and I'm like, hey, my offer was accepted. Mind you, we're still finalizing the refinance. And I asked him, I was like, hey, I'm gonna start looking at houses. Is that okay? He was like, yeah, you're good to go. He approved me. He needed some paperwork from me. Anytime they needed anything, I would send it to him. So then the issue we were running into was they need to see 2 years of W-2, right? Now, mind you, I went on maternity leave February of 2019. I went on a maternity leave a little bit earlier because I was pregnant with twins. I had my twins April of 2019, and I didn't return to work until I was supposed to return the following year, December of 2020, but then COVID-19 happened. So I didn't return to work until July of 2021. So the issue we were running into is it's a large gap. So they actually needed to speak with, HR in my company and all that stuff. And HR, approved all those dates that I was out. I was never let go from the company. I was always an employee. I was always on furlough. And then I returned to work July 2021. So where I was starting to get upset was when I talked to him on the phone, he would always say, you're good to go. I'm talking to the underwriter. I'm actually going to have a meeting with them tomorrow morning. You're good to go. Don't worry about it. But the underwriter is emailing me, telling me, hey, we spoke to Michael. Michael's actually going to let you know we actually need this before we can move forward. So him and his underwriter people, they're not saying the same thing. All the information that they was asking for me, I would give it to them. So now I'm starting to get worried because weeks are going by. We still haven't completed the refinance. Mind you, I need the refinance money to use that as a down payment to buy this house, right? They accepted. This house went under contract. I think February 22nd was when we went under contract or started attorney review, right? And I think the deal fell through. So for the rest of February, all of March, the deal didn't fall through until like April. I think the deal fell through in April, and I could check my emails to tell you the exact date. I'll probably put the date right here. But the deal didn't fall through until April was because now I'm not getting a response from him. He knows I have this property under contract. He has a team working on the sale. He has another team working on my refinance. But now I'm not getting anything from this man. He says he's gonna call me at 5 p.m. or whatever. 5 p.m. comes around, he doesn't pick up. I think he's Jewish, he's Hasidic, so I think he can't really communicate with me over the weekends or Friday certain times. So I actually had my sister hook up with another lender, and at first I had gave her this person's information. She was just saying they're not responsive. I'm getting the same experience, but off of the experience I had my first deal, I'm like, no, he's good people. Like, he's always gonna come through. Like, they saying that they need 2 years of this. He made it happen before. He's gonna make it happen again. And then as I'm talking to other realtors, other lenders are all saying, with COVID-19, a lot of things happen. So a lot of the lenders are, they were just thrown with all this stuff, and COVID-19 messed up a lot of stuff. But my situation was different. People was off with COVID-19 for 1 year. I was off for basically 2 years. And I have a commission-based position. But he kept leading me on, If I wasn't gonna get it, I would have never went under contract. I actually had already sent in $10,000 earnest money. Like my earnest money was 10 grand. I had already sent that to my attorney. I had hired an attorney. The attorney was going to cost me $1,000. And then I had already hired my inspector. My inspector did the inspection, $700. So I'm doing everything I need to do to make this deal move forward. But I'm getting crickets from the lender. And if it was a cash deal, it's different. But when it's a lender, I need the funds from the refinance to purchase the property. So that's the problem that I kept falling into. And eventually, I would call him. He's like, he wouldn't pick up. Then he'll call me 2 days later. I would email him, no response. I would email his team. It was one person from the underwriter would be like, hey, we already spoke to Michael. It's going to be really difficult for you to do this and all this stuff. So basically, in a nice way saying no. But when I talk to Michael, that's his name. But when I talk to Michael, he goes and tells me, no, I have a meeting with this person and underwriting. We're going to get it done. I think you're very confident. And then he even said, if you give me this paperwork from your human resources department, guaranteed you're 100% like approvable or whatever the case may be, right? It was just a whole bunch of bullshit. And then at one point, like I contacted another lender, the lender that was helping my sister out, because my sister's also buying a property, the lender that was helping her out, and he was just telling me like, hey, you know what, I'll try to get it work. And I was like, okay, if you can't refinance on the primary residence, let's refinance on the Trenton property. Like, let's get that under the road. Yes, no problem. I'm going to get a team to you. I'm going to do this. And I email it. People are not answering me from this company. And I have a property under contract. And I have another, and like, I got $10,000 here in the earnest money. And I'm going to lose out on the inspection money. So anyway, he stopped answering me. I lost all trust and all faith in everything. So I contacted this new lender, told him everything that was going on, and they know each other. And he was even telling me unethical things that this person has done in the past. I was just upset that I got strung along from February, March, April. The deal fell through. Like, I just felt bad. So what I did was switch lenders. I got rid of the Fairway mortgage, went with the new lender. And because the primary residence, they need to go through your income and all this stuff, right? So I was like, you know what? We're not even gonna bother with the primary residence. Let's go with just the Trenton property. And this is the same thing that Michael and Fairway Mortgage could have done, but no one's responding to my emails. I don't know if they were busy, and multiple times I've sent emails saying, you know what, I'm really upset. I have this property under contract. Time is ticking. I'm supposed to close on this date. No one's responding to my emails. Like, what's really going on here? I call Michael, you say you're gonna call me, you don't call me back, you call me 2-3 days later. So it's like they work 5 days a week. I call him on Monday, he tells me he's in a meeting with someone on Tuesday, he's gonna get back to me. Tuesday come around, he doesn't call me. I call him, I don't hear anything. Then he'll probably text me Wednesday like, hey, I'll call you later on today. The week is gone. I'm just so mad because I had already, like, I don't think I uploaded that video, but the day I met with my contractor and the day I met with the inspector, I also met with my contractor. So I had my contractor go there with me, and I'm showing him stuff. He's taking notes, he's taking measurements. I'm like, I want this wall gone. You guys didn't see the second floor unit, but I wanted to remove that wall just to create a big space between the living room and the kitchen, open space. I had so many plans. I literally had already started not ordering, but on different websites, because I wanted to do a themed Airbnb. So a lot of these websites like Etsy, they have a long 2-month, 3-month turnaround shipping time for the things that I was trying to do. I wanted to do a really, really nice themed Airbnb. I started putting it in my cart already, communicating with the vendors. But one thing about me, I'm not gonna start buying until I sign the dotted line. I'm never just gonna buy stuff and just hold it in my house, no. So I'm really glad I did that. But in the end, I switched lenders. The new lender was like, listen, I'm gonna be completely honest with you now. This was in April. We can get you the funds from your Trenton property. That's not attached to any kind of job or anything like that, because I own it outright cash. So they can do it, but it's gonna take them 30 to 45 days, which is a typical time. I wasted 30 to 45 days with the first lender. So now what I needed from the seller was an extension. There's a certain date that we have in the contract that, our attorneys put in the contract. If I'm unable to fulfill it or a lender by then, I get my full earnest money back. But then at that time, they don't have to, they can decide to go with another buyer. So by now, when I say I wrote a letter, I told them I'll pay for their property taxes, for the extension. I'll pay for the property taxes, because their new refinance wasn't going to be done till 30 to 45 days, and then we can actually start with the you know, the purchasing of their home and all that stuff. But at that time I had did the inspection, so I'm like, listen, it's gonna go fast. I'll pay for your property taxes from now until we close, so you don't have no bills to worry about. The property was vacant, so I highly doubt they had any utility fees, but I'm like, tell me what fees you have, I will pay for it. Just commit to me that you'll send me the house. And they get, you know, they wanted to think about it, they had the weekend to think about it, then they eventually got back to us and was like, no, there's other bills attached to it. And I understand, he posted a house for sale in February, we're now in April. I'm asking for another extension for at least 3 months, basically, because I need 30 to 45 days for the refinance and another 30 to 45 days to do the purchase. So the seller refused to give me an extension. So what am I gonna do? I cried. I started looking for hard money lenders that I could probably work with, and they were telling me that they could probably do it for like 12% or 13%, something crazy. But when they told me that the seller didn't want to give me the extension, it was a certain day. I believe he had until like the following week, and it was like a Tuesday this week, and he had until like the following week on the contract. So he was like, you know, they're not gonna extend it. So when that date comes on that following week, they're just gonna end all ties and go with another, you know, post it online again. Now, and I felt bad because, you know, I'm sitting here holding these people up. So I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother waste these people time until next week. If they don't want to sell it to me, it wasn't meant to be, I'm just gonna give them the house. Like, there's nothing I could do. So I just emailed them back. My attorney was like, what would you like to do? Would you like to wait until next week, see if you could find a lender or whatever the case may be? But it was gonna be impossible to do the refinance and the purchase within a week and a half. So I was just like, it's okay, let's just end all ties. Because at that point it was my decision. I was the one that could be the only person to say, okay, you know, it's fine, we don't have to wait until next week, just end the contract now. So I signed it, they signed it, and then the next day I had called like a hard money lender, and they got back to me and they were like, oh, we could probably do it, it'll be 12%, it's just a 12-month loan, whatever. Hard money lenders, those interest rates are a little bit higher. But then I told the lady, I was like, listen, I already gave the property up, I signed the contract, it's actually back up on the market. When I tell you, every day I was still putting the address in to see if it sold. It finally just sold like a week ago. Today is June 14th, so it sold literally like a week ago. And it sold, I had it under contract for $310,000, it sold for $325,000. So yeah, that's just a lesson learned. I had a lot of mixed feelings about that, and that happened, and Eid was for the month of April. Or when was Eid? Eid was the whole month of April, right? So then this probably happened end of March, I don't remember. But I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I posted this shit on my fucking Instagram, on my thing, had all these plans for it, had the contractor come out, wasted his time. And then my attorney was like, hey, I'm not gonna charge you the full $1,000. He told me from the beginning, my fee is $1,000, but if the deal happens to fall through, I'll charge you $250. And then I didn't lose any money from the Earnest Money, but the $10,000 that I had sent them, they took their $250 from that, and then they sent me a check for $9,750. So I just want you guys to learn a lesson, because I learned a lesson. Just because you're under contract with the property doesn't mean the deal is solid. This is the first time this ever happened to me, for me to go under contract with the property. So in the past, when I'm under contract, it goes through. So that's why I'm like, oh, this is my house. I'm already, you know, getting quotes from people, fencing people, because I want to put a fence, you know, looking at the town, seeing who I need to talk to about getting permits from the property, the outbuilding. I put so much research into it and money into it. So in all, the money I lost was $1,000, $700 for the inspection. I had a full inspection report, and then $250 for the attorney fee. So what's that? $950. And then the gas I spent over there. But it's a lesson learned. I'm really mad I didn't get it though. It was a nice duplex. It was in Hamilton, a really nice area. But I'm not gonna be sad. Everything happens for a reason. I literally cried, y'all. I was in tears. I was like, you're not about to tell me I'm gonna lose out on this property. It's a duplex with with the outbuilding, I could turn that into one unit. That'll make it a triplex. And then since it's half of an acre, I have all that space to put another duplex on there, turn it into a sixplex. I had ideas. So everything happens for a reason. Property is sold. I literally would put the address in it all the time, because this new lender was able to know everything they said they did. We closed on the refinance within like a month and a half, so maybe about 5-6 weeks. I got my funds already, and I actually just purchased another property yesterday. Today's June 14th. Purchased another property yesterday, June 13th. So if you follow me on IG, you probably already saw the house that I purchased. I put it up on my IG, and like I said, I have a lot of content for you guys. But so if you follow me on IG is up to date on real time because I post on my stories and stuff every day. But if you only follow me on YouTube, I'm like a few months behind on what's really going on. So I just wanted to let you guys know, things happen in this industry. Just because you're gonna lose out on money. Some people get an inspection done and then they get intimidated by all the work the house needs and they back out. In my case, this house didn't really need that much work. It was perfect for me and what I'm looking to do. But it didn't work out, so that's what happened. I lost out $950, but I'm never working with that lender again. He had the audacity to call me and stuff. My God, stop calling this line. Never working with him again. But this new lender is really good. They're really responsive. I'll send them a text message. They get back to me on Saturday. So it is what it is. It wasn't meant to be. So that's what happened. That's why the duplex, if you're wondering why, because I had a few people put on under my Instagram post yesterday like, hey, is this different from the property you posted on your YouTube? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm gonna get this video up to you guys either today or tomorrow. Let me know if you ever experienced this, but it had me in such a shock, and I was just like disappointed at myself. And I was like, and I have family members, like I'm African, so I have a lot of family members who are old school, and they're like, why are you always posting about everything you do? Like, you need to keep that to yourself. You need to stop posting about stuff that you do and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm trying to help the people. Like, when I was trying to do this shit, I ain't see no one that looked like me or someone that I like, I could connect with talking about this stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to continue to do it. And when I get the comments and the messages from you guys, I'm like, I'm not gonna stop. That shit gives me life. I'm not yet monetized on YouTube. I'm not making $1 off of this YouTube channel, but to see other people winning gives me life, or to give other people inspiration. So I'm not gonna stop. I don't care. But I have family members like, oh, you probably jinxed it. We're posting everything. Don't post everything. Wait till everything is done and finalized to post it. Which is probably why I didn't really post too much about the property I closed on yesterday until it was done. Honestly, I was under contract for that, and it wasn't in my mind like I'm really about to buy this house. Like, I was on my way to the closing still with doubts. So I guess I was a little still traumatized from the other property, but I guess it happens, right? You're not gonna win everything. You win some, you lose some. It is what it is. But yeah, you're gonna learn about that new property I bought yesterday. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is a learning curve, or I take this as a lesson. Everything happens for a reason. Probably wasn't meant to be. Probably was gonna run into issues. Probably was other issues that I didn't know. Probably wasn't gonna be Airbnb friendly neighborhood. I don't know, but everything happens for a reason. And just wanted to let you guys know why that deal fell through. So these lenders, make sure you working with a lender that's trustworthy. I had a history with this guy. He was the lender that I used 5 years ago when I bought my first house, and he did me dirty. So this is why I trust no fucking body. And I kept saying, oh no, Michael got it. He came through the other deal. Michael did me dirty, but it's all right. It is what it is. He will never get my business or any recommendations from me ever again. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I want to bring it back outside. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you ever lost out on a deal, lost out money. Put it in the comment section down below, but I'll see you in the next video. Bye.